They against a PL or something that they needed the Radiance?
Five
Yeah, some
seconds
kind of illusion
remaining.
Okay.
hero that wasn't TB. Dark Willow paired together with Mars, good lane. I
Will
mean,
go
they've got
against
an
Io. I
insane amount of like area control right now on Ragdoll.
think that's definitely one of the better ways to deal with Io. Area control or just, kind of AoE abilities like Soulbind, for an example, or
Even just
Ravage.
tossing the brambles between
Yep.
where you think the IO is and the target that you're going on, right, is a good way to be able to stop that relocate out.
Dark Willow's even, it's a pretty decent lane versus the Io as well, just because of the how, again, like you said, playing against the tether. So there's a lot of flexibility for Ragdoll and how they can maneuver these lanes. We see it often though played as a position 4, just because it does a little bit more with farm, considering it, and levels as well. But Ragdoll, I like what they have at the moment. Have definitely solid lineup, a lot of team fight, like you said, AoE control. Now it's just on Kobolds and how they're able to answer this. I mean, we're still looking for their 3 and their 2, but they've used a lot of reserve time.
Just trying to think what can you actually do against this Conquer? Like realistically in the laning stage,
Radiant
what hero
team
can you
ban.
pick that's going to have a good time
Legion
against it?
Commander.
It's not the Legion Commander, that's not the pick, but it's a good pairing with the IO, so I don't hate that. You're definitely setting yourself up for success. But like, even the heroes that are going to be decent against the Conquer wouldn't. Oh no, Death Prophet's gone. Damn. If they could pick it up themselves, it wouldn't be
10
too bad
seconds
actually.
remaining.
But like even the Lena, right? You go Lena, you're up against a Mars. He drops his
5
arena, and
seconds
then you can't
remaining.
actually right click people, which is unfortunate. Huskar is a
Dire team
risky
ban.
prospect into the Kunkka with how much he's able to cleave. They're still going to ban out the Lena, just making the Kunkka's lane as easy as possible. Actually, is it Arjit that plays it for Ragdoll? I think
Radiant
I
team
recall
ban.
VT Faded playing a little bit of the Kunkka as well.
He does. He does play the Conquer. They can flex into the 1. So they have this
Hmm.
potential heading later. I mean, it's more than likely going to be revealed though with the 23rd pick, unless they pick something flexible.
Like TA's gone.
10 seconds
Honestly, like
remaining.
the Weaver matchup versus Wraith King, I like a lot, carry to carry, but
5 seconds
Weaver's just
remaining.
broken as a support, and every time I see Weaver, I'm just still like, this hero just feels like it's lacking something when you put him into the carry role. So they have that if they really want to go down the route for Ragdoll, but I
Dire
think more
team
than
ban.
likely it will be the one they're looking for. 1 or 2, sorry.
They need more catch on Storm. Sorry, on Kobolds for mine. You need a way to get in onto the back lines to be able to lock down the Weaver, lock down the Dark Willow before the engagement even starts. And I feel like Legion Commander, you can't rely entirely on smokes to be able to do that. You just need to have some decent vision up and then use,
5
an
seconds
instant
remaining.
initiation hero to enable that sort of stuff to happen. So
Radiant
it kind of
team
sucks
pick.
laning a Storm into a Kunkka, but might be what's needed.
Dire team
Could they even
pick.
Bat Rider? That's not terrible.
Yeah, it really isn't actually. I think as the game goes on, Weaver Aghanims is a bit of an issue, but regardless, you're gonna have a really good lane versus Conquer. You,
10
I think you'd be
seconds
looking to end
remaining.
before that
yeah,
becomes a factor, though, right?
100%.
5 seconds
Wraith
Uh,
remaining.
King comes online so early.
yeah, I
Yeah,
do
Storm
still
You may
stop.
now
Spirit.
Okay.
select your heroes.
it makes sense. It's just the lane's a bit rough, against the Conquer. But yeah, I have trust that he'll be able to make it work.
Trying to
Still
see.
fearless. Never mind.
I'm trying to see because just the Wraith King name change. It's True now instead of Fortune Soul that it was previously.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing I was looking at. Will it be our old mate on the Storm Spirit? How do you feel with these drafts so far? I like
Um,
Ragdolls a lot.
I think they.
10
I think
seconds
Storm Spirit should
remaining.
have a relatively good game. Actually, I think Conquering
5
Mars is
seconds
really enough though.
remaining.
Like Conquer's such a ridiculous hero. Storm though is also gonna have a really rough lane. Okay,
Fortune
so
Soul's playing good.
they got a new carry player. Interesting. Um,
Um, I feel like hmm, I feel like Ragdoll has the potential to win all three lanes, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like the Weaver Medusa, you think against an IO and a Legion commander, it's not going to be that great, but honestly, it probably can be. It might be, sorry, the Ogre paired together with a Legion commander as well, if they want the IO paired with the Wraith King, you never know. But yeah, I just feel like despite the fact that IO and Ogre are really good laning supports, just so happens that Weaver is better, and Dark Willow paired together with a Mars is probably better as well.
Yeah, I think my one issue is how Kobolds are actually going to be able to take fights with Storm Spirit having a really rough lane into Conquer. So I think Citrus is going to come out relatively ahead in that matchup. And then it's going to be off the back of the Legion Commander, like what item build it goes. If it's going to be, you know, Armland to Blink, Blade Mail into Blink, whatever it's going to be. But I think it's regards on how early of a Blink timing it's going to be to set up for these relocate ganks, because Storm's going to need time to catch up. You've got two supports that don't really do anything in really until higher levels, in particular IO relocate. So even their level 6s aren't the greatest either. So I think you are hugely reliant on the plays to be made from the Legion because of how rough this Storm matchup's going to be.
I love just the unpause without without any go, without anything like that. Just I'm sure it's fine. We can make it work. But what have we got here? It looks like there's been a few wards given over. Menu Ping, he's rushing down that mid lane, trying to get there as quickly as possible to get that quick ward off. I assume it's going to be a sentry placed in the small camp to be able to block that off, because we know that Storm Spirit probably shouldn't be given the luxury of just being able to rotate back to the jungle and get some farm there. He's already going to have a rough enough time against the Kunkka that you just want to make his life even worse if you can.
Oh no! Yif! Not like this.
He'll be fine.
Ah yeah, Shadow Realm. Quite the ability. Very good. Have you killed T5 yet?
I've not played it since I got qualified to it, so unfortunately no. They're pinging out the small camp as if he has put a sentry there, so he might even waste one. Let's see what Menu Ping looks to do under the dire vision. Sla's gone into a bracer. A little bit unorthodox on an IO for sure.
Is he just...
I think he's recognizing how rough that lane's going to be, and he just wants to tank up and not die and be able to trade somewhat well.
Yeah, that was exactly what my question was going to be. Like, is this just a little bit more lane dependent? Does he feel like he's going to need to be able to have the extra stats to be able to combat this? So, you know, see how this helps the IO, of course. And being strength here as well, that extra damage. It's going to be nice too. So we both Ragdoll game one. How we feeling?
Yeah, I think Ragdoll probably have it. They've got the pedigree. They've got a pretty solid draft. Nothing too much you could fault when you're picking like 5 meta heroes.
I think we do have to mention as well, of course, they are still playing with the Ragdoll tag at the moment, even though the Orca logo is up. I think they just have to wait till the season ends until they can change, right? Is that what you were reading in chat?
Valve will do it.
Yep.
Soon. Soon.jpg is when it will be happening.
So, well, I'll do my best to continue saying Orca instead of Ragdoll. I know I've done it a couple times so far.
If I see that cat logo and if I see that Ragdoll dot before their game, we're going to slip up, but
yeah.
we'll do our best. I think it's even worse because there was an Orca organization that most of the players from the old Army Geniuses were part of, like Mamang Dyer and that sort of thing. UK, they were all part of that. It was like PG Orca or something like that, so it makes things a little bit more challenging.
How long ago was that? Because I do not remember that being a...
2 years, maybe?
Oh, so it wasn't even that long ago, okay. See for the boys already very even. So I'm just eyeing up mid at the moment here. Storm's doing a relatively good job, at least throughout the early levels, but now with Citrus having 2 points in the Tidebringer, their ass is really going to start to mount up for the Storm Spirit, but does have the bottle coming out, so at least he's going to be okay with the resources. How do we feel like supports can impact mid in regard to their rotations to help out with the water runes and bounty / power runes? Is there any side that might be enabled a little bit more?
Give me more.
Maybe the Ogre can make a rotation through because the Wraith King is somewhat more sustainable in the lane, given that he's got the life steal. It's a little bit less likely for him to die. probably not the Dark Willow, and you would think that the Weaver with the Sakuchi wants to be making that sort of rotation through, but he's really a lane dominator. That's his purpose. So I think there are very few instances where you want to actually be away from the two opponents that you've got in the laning stage.
GY. She's going to take a lot of damage here with the level 2 from Kobolds. Nice awareness that GY was going to kind of step up the line there and try and get the last hit on the range creep. So they use that obligation for the Mars to their advantage, turn it back around, and get the first blood. Seen a couple of fair share of Medusas, of course, today as well. How are you feeling like this is up there on the list of Deucer games?
I think it's fine. Like they don't have any massive, like, no one builds into a diffusal, which is always nice when you're playing the Deucer. They've got the Mars that's going to lock people in and allow it to just stand there and fight. Even when you've got like the Arena of Blood, for example, you can get a lot of really nice cheeky combos off with a Terrorize into the Stone Gaze to guarantee that you've got an insane amount of lockdown. And no one really outranges her either, which is one of the big ways that you counter the Medusa. Like, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen any Drow whenever a Medusa's been picked up.
Yeah. I mean, speaking about the Drow, that's something that Ragdoll kind of played off the back of to make it into the Division 2 for the first season. And we kind of sort of fell off, though. They still attempted it, but over time they felt like this was a hero that still needed a little bit more buffs, or more situation, I should say, in how they were picking it.
Anything can work in my eyes. It just depends on who's playing it. Like, if Team Spirit is still playing the Drow Ranger and making it look dominant, it's a great
Dire's
hero.
middle tower is under attack.
Just gonna get out. Top lane, though. Another little skirmish breaking out. Smoody taking the brunt of the force at the moment. Sure, putting his body on the line to help out the Ogre, but only 1 point in the Shadow Realm. That's not enough from Yif to get their first kill of the game as well, but a lot of resources traded up top.
Wasn't fully charged up either, so didn't get the maximum damage there, but just holding his ult. Actually, you have to be a little careful there on Yif.
You pay for what you've done.
Probably could have given that over to the Wraith King Moody, but just wanted to secure the kill. Anytime you're playing up against this Dark Willow, it's so hard. Like, you need to make sure that you're completely on point with your chain lockdowns, because that Shadow Realm is going to get him out of dodge most of the time.
Come on, I feel like you're position 5. I thought you were going to say, good man, get those kills. Oh, Citrus. Oh, he's got the level 6 advantage. Fortune Soul's going to attempt to disrupt this with a pullback, but it feels like being nearby. It's enough sustain to help him through the damage, but still, this is something that Rag do incredibly well, with bringing supports over early to utilize these level 6 timings, and it's going to be the Eye that ends up going down instead. As Fortune Soul's still going to be cautious because you're connecting, and yeah, they got the damage to go through. Again, this is something that Orca do really, really well, where they bring supports, connect with the catapult timing, get a kill, and just a lot of damage onto the tower. Now, it does leave GY alone up top, though, with 2 points Ignite and the body block from Moody. Might not be enough still. He's going to have to try and cut through the trees, and Fire Blast not up fast enough.
That was one of those times where he probably should have right-clicked and made sure to secure the kill. It's a big deal, right? Whenever you make these rotations through, if you can't get a kill onto the carry and exchange, it feels like, well, what have you really done with a lot of this time? And well, that's how Orca are just so effective, being able to make the movements around. Like you mentioned, making sure to do it at the right times. It's not just a random rotation because the mid feels like it. No, it's because you can connect with that siege creep. You've already dealt nearly half of the damage to that mid tier 1 tower. Very nicely done. And this is a team that doesn't really... Like, of course, the Medusa is great at being able to push towers, but that's not her main role for the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. You know, that's going to be on the rest of the team. And well, Kunkka, Mars, they don't have the greatest tower-taking threats just yet.
Illusion.
So any kind of damage that you can get for free, you'll take it. Top side, Woody, he's just so tanky, even though he's really got the magic stick.
Definitely feels like it's a rough lane for Ragdoll to play into. Like, Ogre as a laning support, you'd probably give the edge over into the Dark Willow. And double stun as well. We're kind of just seeing how they're able to harass out. Mid last hits relatively even. GY is still getting a decent amount of farm. Actually, how's the net worth looking?
A lot of them have been off the back of skeletons, actually, so
Okay.
it looks a lot better than it is for GY.
Yeah, the net worth looks not good at all. I mean, it's about a 700 gold disparison between the two. So yeah, Wraith King loving life at the moment. And they're actually going to look to TP up menu ping to the top side of the map. So now with this extra hero to get involved, that'll be enough to kill off the Ogre. And yeah, they've got the Urn as well to play around with. Bugs just shy as Chill sidesteps this. And now with the backline stab as well, Fortune Soul is going to look to kind of put his stamp on this top side of the map. So got about half mana to play with. So it's going to push Yif and menu ping back. A rotation from either side, but you feel like kind of edging out the victory to Kobolds with that.
Gotta make sure I try and rotate back. Oh no, never mind. Fearless Lars there to soak up the experience, get the creeps away from the tower. Probably not expecting the fact that you've got this this full, or close to full HP and mana Storm Spirit still up on the top side, so might be able to catch out one of these supports if they go a little bit too far forward. But again, it's a Willow. She's got the Shadow Realm, so as long as you're quick on the fingers, you'll be fine.
Citrus and GY.
I troll your guts with my
GY still level 5, so didn't have the arena, but Citrus coming down, DD dropping the combo. A very nice kill. We're even seeing, actually, back up the top as Fortune Soul, like you were saying, just a refresh in the bottle, allowing him to kind of stay around and get another kill. So this is really big for the Storm Spirit with, yes, he's behind the Conquer, but you have to be really happy with the amount that he's gotten out of the laning phase of this game.
Yeah, you would expect to be behind the Conquer, but the fact that he's only, what, 300-400 net worth behind at this stage is really nicely done.
selfish.
I've run into Scotty.
Citrus has to be a little careful here. Only half mana right now of Fortune Soul, probably discouraging him from going for any sort of kill, even though you had the duel there. I believe that's the phase boots. So, never mind, the armlet coming out for the Legion Commander, so it might look to try and make a play around that. So he's still running a little bit low on the mana front. Is our Storm Spirit. He's got a lot of gold, actually. I think 2,000 in the bank. Kind of surprised that he hasn't sent anything out to him just yet.
What do you think he's considering? Like a Kaya first before Treads, or... Yeah, okay, he does queue up the Kaya.
I think the Kaya's totally fine. You just want to make sure that that mana
Scotty
regen
again. They're going to try and target down the Legion Commander. It feels they're lacking a level 6 to get him out to safety, but the Iris Sustain, regardless, is enough, and now they might be able to at least push back Ragdoll. GY so has the speed of play off. You've also level 6 as well, so they're going to be careful on Kobolds if they continue to group up, as you know, he doesn't really have much health to play with in regard to the armlet toggles, so Citrus will be able to secure the kill as Team Orca. Very nicely done. I have to put a conscious effort to say Team Orca. I feel like you got to pick me up on this, otherwise I'm just going to keep going.
No. I gotta make sure you look like a fool. They're pushing in that mid lane. Very nicely done. Fortune Soul doing his best to maximize the effect of that regen rune, but it's not going to be enough to protect it. So Orca able to take that mid tier 1 tower.
I'm still on that. I looked at Storm Spirit's gold that he had, current gold instead of net worth, so I had that on for a couple minutes. So I'm gonna blame you for that one as well. Thank you very much.
What do you mean, cameraman?
What? They don't know that it's me observing.
Well, now they do.
Oh, well, you could just be saying that. Like, you say a lot of shit that really makes zero sense, and like this is one of them.
What have viewers come to expect from me, you know?
Yes. Oh, of course. I mean, with a nickname like Gonad, I mean, you have to. It's just the low-hanging fruit. Like, it has to be said. It's just an easy go-to, quick meme. Everyone gets a little laugh out of it.
There were a few people that just didn't know what that even meant, though, so...
What's it mean?
So anyway, you've got a 2k net worth lead for Orca at the moment, and they're looking to pressure into the top side. And you've got the Arena of Blood, so it's certainly an area that you might look to start pressuring. You have to be a little bit careful on GY, actually.
Citrus.
I don't know about this.
Orca coming out of the corridor. They can take this fight if he gets the boat out fast enough. It's going to catch them off guard. Citrus misses the combo, but GY will not miss. Arena onto Filzla. Dire's still looking to take the team fight though with Scotty. He's going to be able to purge up the Cursed Crown, but regardless, he's taking about half health now at the moment. He'll turn with the jewel off to the side. Trill's going to show up as well with the crits. They find the first victory of the game, but the Orca controls enough to get rid of Fortune Soul. And Citrus has still got decent resources to play with as well, so he's going to look towards Scotty. But again, these armlet toggles from the Legion doing a solid amount of work here to keep himself afloat. And off the outskirts, it was Trill getting the kill on GY.
Scotty's doing a really good job with those armlet toggles, basically just giving himself a whole lot more strength every single time. Like, you're gaining 500 health each time you armlet toggle, and for someone like a Weaver who, yeah, you've got some potential to be able to deal a little bit of burst damage, but not quite yet at this stage of the game. It makes it a whole lot more challenging if you've got those scarabs off you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Do you reckon they'll change Tumbler's Toy at all next patch? I feel like this item's exceptional on heroes that want to blink early. Like, I've seen, like, Tides, Legion, for example, this game, and Centaurs, I guess. Like, anyone that would like to go, like, an item just before blink, and then getting lucky enough to have the Tumbler's Toy feels great.
Yeah, but I've also seen a lot of players get baited into not going for a Blink Dagger because they think the Tumbler's Toy is enough.
Surely not. Oh no, GY. Looking for another jewel. Let's see if the tower attribute's going to be enough. They jump on 4, but now the combo's out. Terrorize Arena, controlling 3. Citrus drops the X Factor with the boat. They'll get rid of 2, but now Trill as well with a second life. It's a 3-on-3 at the moment as Medusa has no real hope at showing up to these early fights. And, I mean, Kobolds, they're going to use this to their advantage. A bit of a cut down Yif still underneath the tower.
I mean, for how good of a team fight initiation and all that was for Orca, I think they turned it around pretty damn well on Kobolds to be able to get that. I mean, it was a really long zip in from Fortune Soul. Didn't land onto the target he wanted exactly, but still with all that
they're coming back down.
Actually, yeah, this is
haven't done with the IO though, so Phil's just gonna opt to the relocate out, but you got big issues with keeping the Storm alive. And at least one of those issues is not his mana pool. So quick zip out to safety.
They're coming back. Oh, no, never mind. It's just Filzla.
Oh, Filzla is also going back to the grave, unfortunate for the IO. So nicely done for the boys on Orca. They once again bring the forces down bottom. Successful defense on the tower, so they should be able to get the deny. They get a kill. But also another thing to mention is that you have VT Faded, who is loving life at the top side. He's top of the net worth, 184 last hits, has pretty much been no consideration of Kobolds to really slow him down. And I mean, this is about to be a Dragonlance Manta, I mean, 16 minutes in, not even before that.
15-minute Dragonlance Manta, power treads as well. It's not like he's going them naked either, so... 0-0-0 is his kill, death, and assists, but he doesn't really care. That's not his role this game. His role is to get big enough that you're able to reliably siege a lot of these towers, and it's just props to the rest of his team, right, to be able to make so much action happen without him being even a small consideration for it.
And it seems like Orca are putting the consideration, though, on making space here for the Medusa, like taking fights on the opposite sides of the map, really trying to take the focus away from their triangle, where we haven't really seen Kobolds like maybe drop some deep vision down, even thinking about blocking up the Ancients. So Medusa is definitely going to be a big issue here at the early stage of the game. And look at this ward from Radiant too. That's really solid placement. Scouting out Moody and Trill. And I believe they just scouted out that smoke as well, so they will be aware of the movement that's coming out from Kobolds.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Even just this observer ward to the left side of the tier 1 bot tower as well scouts out a lot of the TPs that might be coming into that tier 1 tower on the bottom side for the Dire. Gives them a lot of good information. I mean, BT Faded spent a lot of time inside the enemy triangle farming stuff up. That's how confident he's feeling right now.
I'm a bit surprised they went for that smoke play pre-blink on Scotty, considering he just completed it. So he was super, super close to it. And the smoke and... they got nothing out of it. I mean, maybe they dropped the deep ward. Yeah, looks like Moody by the bottom outpost.
Get the duel.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Apologies.
That was the Tumbler's toy coming in handy, plus the dual cast range. He was level 10 at the time, so
Dire's top tower is
the
under
fact that
attack.
the Blink Dagger's
Radiant's
come out,
bottom
he's going to
tower
be
has
walking
fallen.
around not under any kind of radiant vision, so he hasn't revealed the Blink just yet. Sure, just trying to mill around the jungle as long as he can to pick people off. But there's a lot of Dire heroes now down
Dire's
towards the
top
bottom side
tower
of the
is
map,
under
seeing if they
attack.
can potentially catch someone out. Conqueror is way too tanky, and he's not even going to be there. That's just an X marks to fix the lanes.
One
Dire's
pick off and they
middle tower
could
is
move
under
into
attack.
Roche now with Deso and Trill, so Team Orca have to be a bit cautious of this as they are underneath an observer ward as well. They know that Citrus split off away from the team. Gonna try and catch the hero solo at the start. Trill's gonna lead the charge. Citrus
There he
gonna be
is.
fast enough. There's Real, the blink, and GY tries to disrupt, but he only gets the spear combo on the Ogre. They'll
four-man
lose the
terrorize.
Conquer, but still with the Terrorize, they're looking to take the fight as VT Faded's even gonna show up to the party as well. Stonegaze pushing back Kobolds. It's a 2-for-1. And now the Ira's gone as well, so it's just Trill and Fortune Soul. TPing back in the Ira though. They still want to take the team fight. I don't know if they're in a position to do so though. You're unable to... Oh, Jesus. They'll go to the Dark Willow, but still... Then first life easily taken care of with VT Fader, but Trill, I mean, it's got some assistants standing hand in hand and not really worrying about the Medusa, just leaving her till last. Wraith fight. Oh, that armlet toggle. That's rough. Maybe not anticipating how much damage the menu ping Weaver would have done with the double damage during him. We're now Fortune Soul. But he just not able to get in range, so a bit of a clumsy fight though.
It was a little bit. I hate Weaver so much, man. The fact that he's able to dish out that much damage. It's on the back of the Swarm, of course, and DD helping him out too. He's even finished up his Spirit Vessel. So coming up against a Legion Commander, an IO, a Wraith King, going to be incredibly impactful.
Well, that's nice for VT Faded. Silver Amulet, and we saw his real first participation of the game as well. 3 assists now for the Medusa. And going to be working on the Eye of Skadi. Again for
I
Kobolds.
like it.
Yeah.
Just something that you can't... Like, the Spirit Vessel, I can understand people maybe having misgivings about that because you've got a Legion Commander that you're contending against. You've got the BKBs that are set to come out within the next 5-10 minutes for Kobolds, but the Skadi, that slow goes through the BKBs as well, so it even amplifies the effectiveness of it.
Trill. Reincarnation still on cooldown for another 40 seconds. Skadi's going to try and protect him with the press to attack, but will not give him the opportunity to get out of range of the arena. And maybe they can consider Roche. I mean, Swarm is maxed out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
See.
Wonder how much of that engagement was off the back of Fearlessly was showing in the lane for a little bit, and he doesn't have a TP right now, so they know he wasn't going to be able to come through and potentially save with the relocate back into
Dire's
base.
top tower is
He
under
died way
attack.
too quick anyway for that to possibly happen, but it certainly would have given Orca the
Dire's
confidence.
structures are fortified.
I mean, I'm
It's
still...
like, BT Faded having the confidence to just freely hit this tower on the top
Dire's
side,
top
not a
tower
care in the
is under
world,
attack.
backdoor protection, not quite kicking in just yet. And that was probably the
Dire's
only
top
thing stopping
tower
them
has
from
fallen.
wanting to go into that Roche pit, just
Radiant's
taking away
bottom
all
tower
these
is under
avenues
attack.
for Kobolds to
Dire's
TP in
middle
and potentially
tower is
contest
under
with
attack.
buybacks.
And Radiant definitely have the advantage in a close proximity fight with, you brought up in the draft, but all of these, you know, circle abilities to make it difficult to get in the midst.
Radiant's
So
bottom tower is under attack.
see how Kobolds look to take this. They do see Orca moving in to the area. And you should be aware this is going on.
I just don't think that they can contest it. It's just about getting your next big items, and unfortunately for Wraith King, he doesn't really have something coming up next. I mean, if you go for a Blink Dagger, you're still somewhat lacking in damage. This isn't a Masseros Legion Commander either, who at this stage probably had at least 100 dual damage. It's only the 20 so far, being a much more defensive style, wanting to buff up the Wraith King, but realistically, you're buffing up someone that just doesn't really have much of anything in terms of damage.
They got big issues now for Kobolds. Like, their lineup plays off the back of pickoffs with an IO, Storm, and a Legion, and they
Yep.
do not have the team fight to combat the boys on Orca. Now you've also got the Medusa with Aegis, so they're just going to ball up and take all the
Dire's
outer
middle
towers.
tower has fallen.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised
Radiant's
that
bottom tower
IO
is
and Legion
under
Commander
attack.
weren't playing around each other a whole lot more. Like not tethering up to start with, but just paired together and then making sure that you tether in as soon as that blink duel happens into the storm zip and consistently start farming some heroes off. But you know, to their credit, Orca, they've been grouping up fairly well together as well. So there haven't been any of those easy pickoffs that Kobold might have been looking.
Chasing down Fortune Soul, who else did they catch out? GY gets an easy
As
speed
well.
connection on Fieldsla, so he's looking to still tether over, but with Conquer being nearby, it's not going to give him that opportunity. Now VT Fade just
Solo,
doesn't give a
by the way.
damn. Look at that.
DD.
Like, you kind of need to answer him, and now he's just going to manage off, and Fortune Soul is half health just being evaporated, and now the rest of Orca are able to connect.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle
Well-
A little
barracks
bit,
are under attack.
what's the word? Not arrogant, but yeah, let's go with arrogant. Like the fact that you could just come up here onto the high ground, no cares. He realizes how huge he is, and that's off the back of all that space that his team made for him. I don't think you can duel this Medusa.
He's going to lead the start of the fight here. Already half health taken care of. Stormspirit's going to be cautious as well, but the instant Orca from Citrus with Io flying over the tree line will at least give the opportunity for the BKB, but now Io, he's not playing with Trill. So VT Fade is continuing to lock onto the Wraith King. There's going to be no escape here for Trill on the position 1. And now from mid to top they go. They are going to be lacking some creeps though. Oh, they got to deal with the creep
Still got
hitting
one
the
on the base.
effigy, so...
Yeah.
But the stage backdoor kicks in, it'll be melee gone at least.
Dire's top
No
tower
clicking
has
that.
fallen.
What is the structure he was
Dire's
hitting?
top
What's it called?
barracks are under attack.
What, the effigy? I don't
Nope.
know.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
I don't know. What are they called?
Building. It is called
Not.
building.
I was gonna say
Dire's
like
top barracks has fallen.
well tower or something, but I've never seen that, so I don't know. Something with well. Building. What a dope name.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And what a brave creep as well. I want to give a shout out to Yif in that last team fight as well. His positioning was great. He used the Bramble Maze right on the stairs and made sure he used his Yule Scepter as well to completely keep Skadi away from that team fight. So he wasn't able to get a Blink Duel onto anyone. He wasn't even able to get a Blink Press the attack onto the Wraith King to potentially save him.
We've seen
And
this.
again,
Middle tower
this is
under
a Legion
attack.
commander that he's not there for
Dire's
damage
bottom
right
tower is
now.
under
Like
attack.
he is there to buff up his team
Radiant
in
structures
terms
Fortune
of
Soul.
the press the attack.
GY is able to get that initial lockdown, and now with Yif nearby. And that play was set up because Team Orca, they glyphed up the creep wave that Storm was trying to cut. So whoever made that call, I mean, that is a really nice individual play to give GY that opportunity.
The next level play, and you've got the Aegis for another minute and 20 seconds here on the Medusa, but even without it, I can't see her dying. She's got the butterfly as well, so what's a Legion commander and a Wraith King gonna do against that? Especially now that you're level 20 with the extra Mystic Snake mana gain on top of things, no diffusal, so you're always going to have mana to be able to cast that Mystic Snake.
Another thing is like GY's itemized into kind of the utility we've been seeing for the past couple of days. On some different heroes, but we saw it on the snap yesterday with the Pipe Crimson, and now GY's like, alright, they're lacking a lot of damage and we can just ball up as a team. Let me go Pipe, let's minimize what Storm's able to dish out here. It's Moody?
On to the backstep here on Moody, they're pinging it out though.
Blink away, who do get the dual target on? It's here for the moment with
this
Fortune
Willow.
Soul falling up, but still with the arena drop, it's gonna lock in Chill. When you need to get in a position to be able to protect him on the second line, but when VT Fade is able to stand his ground, Fieldsla will attempt to relocate out, but there's the Bramble to cancel. A beautiful draw from the boys on Orca. They just identify and make this IO lineup completely useless versus all the AoE damage, and we just see once they're able to group up with the Aegis, there was no looking back.
Yeah, agree across the board. I think it was a lot of individual skill coming through as well. And, I mean, part of it was also Kobolds not really playing to the strengths of their own draft, right? I mentioned it before. It was something that Motivate Trust did incredibly well in that previous series. You have a Legion Commander, an Ogre. They had a Marana in their game. This time around, it was the Storm Spirit. But for whatever reason, they just weren't wanting to be quite as aggressive in making plays and make this Legion Commander that true third core. It felt like they had two heroes and honestly, maybe even just one core this game because the Wraith King didn't have much of anything even by the very end of it.
Yeah, it really feels like if you're not seeing the Legion Commander scale, then this hero, he's going to
And
struggle
you've got
overall.
the IO. Like,
Yep.
you've got the tools to be able to scale. It just didn't happen because of the way that they played. So,
Eh,
a little bit unfortunate that they weren't able to get it there. Scardy, I'm sure, will be kicking himself because when he was, around to make plays, his spellcasting was always on point. It was just more of the macro decision making, I think, where they were lacking a little bit.
Yeah, it just comes down to the dynamic of both lineups here. The Kobolds lineup rely heavily on picking pickoffs across the map with their mobility in Storm, Blink initiation on Legion, and also the Eye Relocate. And for Ragdoll, we brought it up through that game, but they've got overwhelming amounts of team fight and Medusa that can just stand her ground. They itemize as well for that ball up with the pipe on GY. And it just got to a stage where Kobolds, the lineups clash. They didn't have a way to combat that. So I wonder if the next game, if we're going to see a little bit of a difference, maybe putting some more emphasis in regards to team fighting, so they will have at least a potential. If they miss somewhat of a timing, you can still maybe play off the back of one fight can bring you back in it. But for the boys on Orca, a really good start for them through the closed qualifiers. They're going to be able to take game one pretty convincingly, 26 minutes in. So we'll see if the momentum's going to spill over into the second game.